Now let's finish out our wheel by building the spokes and some of the brake material. All right, so here's our wheel, tire. We just need to build some of this interior stuff right here. Let's start with these spokes. If we count these, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we know we need 7 little spokes sticking out. And we need a little bit of geometry in between here to make this work. So let's say we want these spokes to be kind of every other face on the cylinder. Okay, show you what that means. We'll bring in a cylinder and let's turn it to faces. And just set that to 90. Okay, and I'll just move that forward in X. If I can just bring it forward. Okay, so you can see what's going on here. Okay, so basically we want to pull those spokes out of these faces. Okay, but we want to leave enough room in between to be able to have that transition so they're not right next to each other. So basically we need to pull those out of every other one. Since we have 7 spokes, okay, we want to go every other one, we need to bump this up to something like 14 so that we can do every other one and it'll come out right. So I'm going to just bump that up to 14. Okay, and then we can do spoke, 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 all the way around and have some space in between, okay? Alright, so let's go ahead and scale this guy down a little bit. If you want to, you can kind of match it up over here. Kind of like just a general size there. And then I'll snap it to the grid right here. And then I'm just going to select these faces. Every other face, and right on the edge here. So I've got that face, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, we're going to try to make all these spokes at one time. So I am going to do an extrude. Okay, extrude out once, slightly. You can see how all these are coming out. Repeat that extrude. Okay, and at this point I want to move these out in X. Just make sure they're all moving in the same direction. Sometimes you'll get some different results. Okay, and then repeat that, extrude out again, move this one back a little. Okay, and you might want to scale that one down a little bit too. Let's go ahead and delete our history on that. And then we need this little bit of detail inside here, so if we want to, we can begin to use these interior faces to actually create that. So now I'm going to use these. I'm going to extrude these in. Okay, leave an edge there. Okay, extrude those into that where you want that sort of detail to be. And then extrude in again. Just kind of repeating this extrude. Okay, extrude that. Move it in. Repeat. In. Just a bunch of extrudes here. Quickly block out that detail. Okay, just repeating that. And this is going to be the point where our little cap comes out. So I'm going to just add some resolution there so it'll be a nice sharp edge. Repeat that. And then just bring it out like that. Okay. And if we want to go ahead and create the cap on there, move this back, you could do that too, just by continuing to extrude this out. Could create a cap right there. And then the top part of the cap, like so. Bring that in. You can see how you can quickly create some very different shapes just by doing some quick extrudes. And then this will be our cap here. Scale that in and bring it out. And take a look at that. So now we need to look at this. I'm going to isolate this. We need to be able to smooth this out. And right now, if we smooth this out, these guys are going to be really kind of just doughy and not really defined very much. But if we go in here and start adding these edges that we need to add along here, it's not so much of a problem. You can see if I add edges along this side, it's kind of isolated to these interior parts, right? And that's fine. We can deal with that, no problem. But once we start adding these edges on the top, okay, it's going to go right in here, and it's really going to mess with our circle right here, this shape. You're going to get corners basically at all these points where there's a bunch of lines close together. So at this point, what we can do is actually grab all these interior pieces. Okay, I deselect the back. I just want this, basically this interior part. All right, I'm going to go to my side view here. Side. All right, and then we can basically extract that. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I don't have anything else selected. And then extract that. So that now we can make this actually just a separate piece, and then our resolution that we need to add here isn't going to bother us. Okay, so I'm just going to continue to add that resolution to sharpen these guys up. Right up there. And looks like that's good. And then you'll need to come in here and probably add some lines in here. Just all around these sides there. And this is going to give you your nice sharp edges on your spokes like you want. Okay. And just a couple more. Alright, now let's select this guy, delete the history. Let's go ahead and smooth that out and see how it looks. Yeah, it looks okay. You might want to have a little bit more of a dip inside right here instead of what we have now. So what you can do, you could go in here and just add some edges in here. Just like that. And then I'm just going to grab all these outer points on all these edges I just created. Okay. And I could scale those in a bit. And we could check that out. See how that's looking. Alright, that looks pretty good. You can tweak this a little bit if you find that this interior part's a little bit too big. What you can do is just grab all these points basically and scale those in if you like. If you think that that's a little bit too thick. Looks like it might be a little too thick, so I'm just going to scale it down just a little bit. Okay. You can scale it down however you want. And that'll enable you to kind of change that interior shape without messing with your outer spokes. Okay. Now this guy, I'm going to scale down a little. Bring him out. He needs a little bit of thickness, I think. I'm going to just grab this outer edge and select contiguous, and then just extrude that back so he has a little bit of thickness there. So I can move him in and out a little bit if I want to. And I'm going to actually extract the cap, I think. I can select, I just want the faces that we're going to use for this cap on the end here. Okay. Sure I got that. Alright, I'm just going to extract those. Okay, so now this guy is separate. If I center my pivot And actually, want to create a little bit of overlap here. To do that, I'm just going to grab all these edges and just extrude those out. Just these edges all the way around the side. Okay. And then just extrude those straight out. All right. And now I'm going to add a little bit of resolution so that when we smooth this guy out, it's going to look like it's supposed to look. And a little bit of sharpness up here. And then let's see what we can do to fix this, all these triangles here. I'm just going to select every other edge right here and delete those. And let's add some resolution right up here. So this will hold its shape as well. Okay. I've already got a little bit inside there, so that should work fine. And now let's go ahead and grab this guy, smooth him out a bit, and this guy. And let's grab all this stuff and kind of just move it into position in our wheel here. And basically I think we want the spokes to kind of be in this area right here. So it looks like we may need to move that back a little bit, okay? So we need a little more separation between here and here. So I'm just going to grab these. Let's just grab these three faces, all the way around, okay? And then we'll just move those back. All the way around there. And those three, and these three up here, and these guys. I'm just going to check, make sure I've got this guy selected. I don't want him. Okay, let's move these guys back a little bit. That's probably pretty good. And now let's smooth them out and see how it looks here. Okay, it looks like our tire's intersecting a little bit. So you can either grab the interior faces, or you could scale this down. So that we don't get that kind of intersection. All right. And now these guys, if you want to go ahead and, if you want to scale them, I'll just center my pivot here. If you want to scale them slightly so that they match up, fit a little bit better here. All right, so we've got our wheel, our spokes, our rim, our tire. Now all we need to do is go in and build the disc, the brake disc, and the caliper. And we'll go and do that in the next lesson.